What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. We're going to be talking about I Know What You Did Last Summer in this video here today. So as you saw in the thumbnail, as you see for the title, we're going to be going over some new plot details centered around the upcoming fourth entry in the I Know What You Did Last Summer film franchise, aka the legitimate third film we deserved many years ago. And we know it's going to be dropping July 18th. As this video goes on, you'll be seeing new images that came out from Entertainment Weekly. I'll also be going over some comments from Jennifer Kane Robinson and Freddie Prinze Jr. addressing Ray and Julie's importance to the story, and some other things that I will share about this movie. And we have confirmations on who our 5 friends are. Back in July of last year, I shared names of the characters in the upcoming film. Well, a couple names here and there. Yesterday, Jennifer Kane Robinson, the director, confirmed names I shared in the past, but we have also gotten some new plot details from this Entertainment Weekly interview. When 5 friends inadvertently cause a deadly car accident, they cover up their involvement and make a pact to keep it a secret rather than face the consequences. 1 year later, the past comes back to haunt them as they learn someone knows what they did last summer. Stalked by a mysterious killer, they soon seek help from 2 survivors of the legendary Southport Massacre of 1997, that of course being Julie and Ray. That is the breakdown of what we can expect this film to be centered around. So who are these 5 friends? According to Jennifer, and shout out to you, Kyler, for this image, Ava is one name, which should sound familiar to you if you've been listening to my channel. Milo, which again should sound familiar if you've been listening to my channel. Danica, Teddy, and Stevie. They are our leading 5 friends. Now, she never stated who plays who, that she, of course, being the director, Jennifer, never stated who is playing who. But Kyler's collage here of the names is correct, and so is the information some of you have noticed over on IMDb. Ava is the leading lady, and Chase has already been confirmed as the leader of the group. She's talked about this in interviews. I've talked about how Ava struggles to cope with this accident, her relationship with Milo, and how that fizzles out due to her actions related to coping. In an interview, this same interview with Entertainment Weekly, Jennifer also revealed what Ray and Julie's story is going to be as it relates to these new kids, or young adults, I should say. She says it's about both Ray and Julie finding catharsis through helping the younger cast in this film. I think they both have a lot of emotional stuff that they've kind of put band-aids on, and those band-aids are ripped off by our younger cast, and this movie is definitely about them. Each of them has a person in the younger cast that they are connected to, and it is about them helping all 5 of these kids move through this. And through doing that, think they actually are able to find closure and release, and are able to move forward in a way that they never would have had they not experienced this with this younger group. She also talked about her mindset going into this, tackling Ray and Julie. She said, I came to this originally wanting to dig into if this thing had happened to you, how would that shape you and what person do you become after it? So really wanting to look at both Ray and Julie and say, okay, how did this thing shape both of them and where would they be today? So it's the Halloween 2018 formula in full effect here, because Ray and Julie's trauma is going to be explored in ways we've never seen. This is why I'm certain we'll be able to look back on this new film and regard it as the best sequel in the franchise. Halloween 2018 is a better film than I Still Know What You Did Last Summer and that nasty third film combined. So using its template and hopefully executing it in a way that is compelling enough will be what you had to do to propel this entry to that second best slot. This is going to be an easy film to sell as the second best entry. Those first 2 sequels, even though I have a soft spot for I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, they are not that good. Freddie Prinze Jr. gave some context on Ray's life all this time later in that same Entertainment Weekly interview. He said they were all traumatized. Catching up with Ray, you see how that has shaped him into the position he's in now. He loves his town and not everyone else does, in his view, and he's a little grumpier with the way the world has treated him since the 1997 Southport Massacre. So he has gone through a lot, and I don't know if he's dealt with it the way the modern man deals with stuff. You know what I mean? He's a guy from the 90s like myself, so I think he's probably bottled up a lot more of those feelings that we've talked about. Ray has a bar that he runs. It's kind of where he's at in his life right now. He's not the active fisherman that he thought he was going to be. He's managing and owning a spot of his own and trying to keep it afloat. So it sounds like Ray is going through some hardship financially. And what's ironic here is this does line up with a brief bit of dialogue from him in that first film where he acknowledges that he's not as privileged as his friends. Again, while this might sound formulaic and it's been there, done that in terms of the Halloween 2018 template, execution is everything. I stress that all the time on this channel, and even without seeing it, the template of this formula made popular by Halloween 2018 is better than the finalized products that are the last 2 sequels to I Know What You Did Last Summer. it looks like we have a familiar scene to look forward to in this upcoming film as well. In regards to those cliffhanger nightmare endings, this is what Jennifer had to say about that. So the way that I've approached how the franchise is that I feel like those final scenes in the first two movies live outside of the canon. Because in the first movie, she gets attacked through the shower, through the glass door, and in the second movie, she gets pulled under the bed. So they're both alive and well, and what I will say is that we have continued that tradition in our film. Now, I bet it's not going to be the ending, per se, but we'll get a nightmare sequence to catch us off guard and shake up the formula. But if it's at the end, that's fine too. Jennifer also confirms that we'll get an update on Carla without acknowledging if Brandy appears or not. She said, here's what I feel I can say without spoiling anything. We do find out what happened to her. I'm a huge fan of this franchise, and I came at this as a huge fan of this franchise, so that's all I'll say. One of you were even genius enough to comment that perhaps Carla's brief appearance is what motivates Julie to finally help Ava and her friends. Julie does seem a bit uninterested by it all, and a call from Carla leads her to get involved on top of the note she receives as well. I think that would be a significant way to include her, even if it's something small. At least Carla was made to be significant to the story and not just brought in for a cheap, hello, look, it's Brandy, back as Carla. If that's what they do, that's what they do. I'm not going to really knock it too much for that, depending on how insignificant it is. It's just going to be a nice smile to make appear on my face, I guess. Now, I do want to share with you guys my sentiments on what I know about this movie. And if you are listening to me right now, Jennifer, because I know you are aware of me, I think what you have concocted in principle is absolutely genius. I think it's genius. It, in so many different ways, when people see this, you're going to be able to look back on these films and go, a light bulb's going to go off in your head. It's so genius. To me, on paper, I have to see how it's executed on screen to actually say this is a good movie. But in principle, you have concocted something that I didn't even consider. But I love it already. I just hope that when I see it on screen, it wins me over, because right now I am excited to see this play out on screen. I have heard about chase scenes. I have heard about some great usage of Julie James and Ray Bronson. They use the legacy cast in a very good capacity. This film, if it is executed well, I would have to say is one of the most bold horror legacy sequels to date. It's breaking so many formulas that we're familiar with when it comes to these legacy sequels, and daring future legacy sequels from other franchises to be bold enough to carve paths like this. The path that this film is taking, it's going to be divisive, but I already love it on paper. I just need to see it play out on screen. But again, if you're listening to me, Jen, this is genius. I have to give you a round of applause in advance, just in principle. I hope that when I see the movie, I'm able to come out and saying, okay, that was executed well. It was a good movie. But like I stated before, I don't see this being a hard feat for this film to accomplish, being the second best entry. As much as I can have a soft spot for that first sequel with Brandy, who has an iconic chase scene, that movie is not very good. That movie is not very good, and that third film is even worse. But what they have concocted here, oh man, I cannot wait to hear people talk about this. But you guys, let me know what you think about this down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you subscribe. Turn on post notification and never miss a video. In the description, I have links on my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there, of course. Let me know if there's any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.